Hi, I'm Alex Sobin, Executive Director with the Montana World Affairs Council. The Council is a nonpartisan nonprofit organization founded in 2000 by Ambassador Mark Johnson. Our mission is to foster global understanding and awareness in Montana's classrooms and communities. Thank you for joining us today for our Council in the Classroom program, generously sponsored by the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation and Trail West Bank. Today we have the pleasure of being joined by a panel of students from the University of Montana for A Life Abroad, Living and Studying in a Foreign Country. You'll be hearing different perspectives from AJ Weatherwax, a Blackfoot student who lived and studied in Australia, Shuai Yuan, a student from Beijing who came to the University of Montana to study public administration, and Manuela Oliveira, a law student from Brazil. We hope you enjoy the discussion and join us for future Council in the Classroom programs. There is still one spot available for tomorrow's Language and Culture program with Dr. Reza Samargafar from the Defense Critical Language and Culture program. For more information about the Council and our work to promote global citizenship, visit www.montanaworldaffairs.org.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. So what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to have our students go ahead and introduce themselves and just go ahead and say where you're from to start with.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yes.
Hello everybody. I'm Shuai Yuan. I come from China, from the Beijing, the capital city of China, and I have been in Montana almost 1 year. I'm studying public administration. Right now, this is the second semester for me. I will back China during the summer vacation to see my girlfriend and my parents, something like that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Well, I am Manuela. I am from Brazil. I live in Rio. I landed in Montana in January for the English program to improve my English. And I also applied for the law program in here. So let's cross our fingers and just wait for the result by the end of July.
Okay, Nastuni Tanaku Inado Skiki AJ Weatherwax. My name is AJ Weatherwax. In my native language, I said, hello, my name is Buffalo Spirit. That's my Indian name. My English name is AJ Weatherwax, and I am from Browning, Montana, which is located just north of Cut Bank. Yeah, I think that's it.
Wonderful. So we have students from the United States that have traveled afar and students from other countries that have come to the United States. The first thing I want to ask each of you is, how did you get interested, or what piqued your curiosity and interest in studying abroad? So we'll go ahead and start.
Actually, going abroad to study is a very popular thing in China recently, and there are three main countries. One is America, one is Great Britain, one is Australia. But Australia people give us not very. I mean, the universities in Australia doesn't give us a lot of good impression because they are. Yeah, because Chinese corporations, they don't admit the certification that from the University of the Australians. It's weird, but I can explain it more. Yeah, but America is one more place that I really like to, because the exchange rate is cheaper than the pound, and here has a lot of great parks. I mean, such as the Yellowstone or Glaciers parks. Yeah. By the way, I'm the photographer, and I want to take more great pictures and to show off myself, something like that. Yeah, that's all.
Wonderful.
Well, as a tax lawyer in Brazil, I just figured out that I need to improve my English, and my boss, he encouraged me to come to the United States. First, because of the diversity, so I would have to deal with many different people, many different thoughts, and different culture. And second, just for improving my language. So I think English is really a big deal, not only in Brazil, but pretty much all over the world. So that's the reason why I'm here.
And you're a lawyer in Brazil already, so you've already been through the whole education system.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting component as well. Thank you. AJ?
Yes, I got interested in studying abroad because I've always been fascinated. I went to Lismore, Australia, which is in Australia. The Northern Rivers part of Australia, which is in between Sydney and Brisbane. And the reason why I went over there was because of the spring semester of 2014. We had this international student who was from Australia, and she was telling me about Australia. And my biggest question that I've always asked her was if it was true that the toilet water went the opposite direction than it does over here in America, because they're in the southern hemisphere. So that was my biggest question, and I would ask her that question, and she said that you're gonna have to come to Australia and find out for yourself. So I went to Australia with that in notion. The first thing I did when I got to Australia, got off the plane in Brisbane, I went in the bathroom and I tried flushing the toilet.
Well, we're all like waiting. What happened?
I flushed the toilet, and in Australia, the toilets are really weird. Because it kind of piles all the stuff together and then flushes out that way. There's no way it doesn't swirl around in circles or anything. It just goes all out. So I had to wait a few more weeks until my roommate was taking a bath, and when she let the water out of the drain, she had me go there and watch it, and it does go counterclockwise.
So it does go counterclockwise.
Yeah. So,
Things that you've never known. So we're going to go ahead. I have a couple of questions for our students just to get us started, and then what I want to do is I want to open it up to you, because I suspect that you probably have some questions as well. But my next question is, who helped you during this process? I know, Manuela, you said that your boss
My boss.
encouraged you to come
Yes.
and study in the United States. Who else were mentors or people that encouraged you, teachers or bosses?
Actually, I think maybe my parents, they paid my tuition fee, and yeah, absolutely, they are waiting for me to get it back after I graduate. And yeah, it's a very common situation in China right now. The parents pay the tuition fee and to get a high quality degree, and then they come back to get a new job, something. Yeah, it's like that. But courage, that means depends on ourselves. We are independent, and we don't need other people to give me our some stimulation or something.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Well, my boss was the person who encouraged me to come, and I used to work in Ernst & Young, which is a really big company all over the world, and he said, if you want to have an opportunity in New York or California, you need to go to the United States and just improve your English and maybe just qualify yourself a little bit better, and it's a unique opportunity. And the good thing about it is when I come back to Brazil, my job is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like he just helped me out on this path.
Wonderful.
what got me interested in studying abroad was a very popular man, Crocodile Dundee. That's who got me interested in going to Australia, wrestling the crocodiles. I wanted to be the next Steve Irwin and wrestling crocodiles. But I'll tell you what, when you see them in real life, you're gonna mess yourself, because they're big and they're huge and they're dinosaurs pretty much.
Wait a second. You grew up in Browning. You grew up next to Grizzly Bear country. They're scarier than grizzly bears?
Yeah, much scarier. Because I know how to deal with grizzly bears. Grizzly bears don't Grizzly bears, I know how to deal with them. You make sounds, you make noise, you startle them away. Well, with crocodiles, you can't do that. You make noise, they'll come after you. I didn't know that.
I can imagine. I'm curious from our schools, do we have any foreign exchange students that are participating today? You can show us with a raise of your hand. Anybody?
There's one.
Oh, we have a couple in Bozeman. Oh, fantastic. Bozeman, I'm curious, would you mind sharing where your foreign exchange students are from, or would those students share with us, please?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm from Denmark.
And Kun?
I'm from Thailand.
From Thailand? Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Denmark.
Denmark, cool.
That's it, Allie.
All right, thank you. That's fantastic. I didn't see any of our other schools. Do you have any foreign exchange students? All right. I'm just curious. So we have a couple of them. So why did you choose to go to Australia or come to the United States? Was there something for you? I suspect it was learning the language.
Yes.
You could have gone to Australia or England to learn the language as well.
I guess American accent is pretty much well known all over the world. Australian, they have their own accent, which is a little bit different, right? And UK has their own accent.
Uh-huh.
But my company is American one, and I needed to improve the American English, and that's the reason why I chose United States.
Fantastic.
For me, I think maybe from the movies. I mean, most of the thing is the culture different because I'm from the Eastern, not like the. Sorry, what's your name? How to pronounce your name?
Manuela.
Manuela. It's not from the South America. It's pretty similar culture and big. I mean, come from China, so the Eastern country and their history and their culture is quite different with the Westerns, especially with America. And the secondly is that America is as the most strongest country in the economy over the world right now. I want to study some new technologies or new knowledges and to see some smart guys such as Bill Gates. If I have money, I will pay the more than $100,000 to watch their house to go over something like that.
Awesome. Why did you choose Australia? Well, the Crocodile Dundee.
I chose Australia to go study because I was fascinated. I've been fascinated about them ever since the late 80s, early 90s. And I been fascinated about their Aboriginal people there. The didgeridoo, the everything that's in Australia, I've been fascinated about. Plus, on top of it, it's on the southern hemisphere. I am from the northern hemisphere, but I wanted to go to the southern hemisphere and experience life there.
So when you were in Australia, you said earlier that you're a Native American Studies student. Were you there to compare Indigenous cultures? Was that part of your the process?
That's not why I was there, actually, but it turns out that the Aboriginal people in Australia is that they're just now facing what we Native Americans have gone through for 500 years. Because we've been colonized for 500 years, whereas the Aboriginals in Australia have only been colonized for about 200-300 years. So they're experiencing everything that we experienced. And they're, right now, while I was there, the old prime minister, or the ex-prime minister, Tony Abbott, got voted out of office because he was talking about doing away with the Aboriginal land. Yeah, so.
So I want to open it up right now to our students a little bit to see if we have any questions before I keep hogging all the questions. Let's start with Sealy Lake. Sealy Lake, do you have any questions for any of our presenters?
We do have one question here. Who wants to step up to the microphone?
How expensive was it to travel to? When you went?
So how expensive is it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty expensive. You know, right now the exchange rate is $1. It's called a 6.5 Chinese RMB. So that means if my parents earn 1,000 Chinese money, that only cost only equal with $1,500. That means, yeah, they have to earn so much money.
Super expensive. How about for you, Manuela?
It is expensive. So we have the tuition fee, we have the residence hall, we have personal expenses, and we still have to be concerned about going back to our country, visit our family during the break. So it's a lot of money. It's
I
not
can
so
imagine.
cheap.
Yes, I can imagine.
Well, for me, it wasn't that expensive. I mean, it was only the most expensive thing, of course, was my round trip plane ticket to Australia and back, which was $1,509. I didn't have to live in dorms or anything like that because I found a host family that would accommodate me for staying over there, and they'd the currency of the Australian dollar compared to the American dollar the currency fluctuates daily. Some days the Australian dollar or the American dollar would be like $1.44 to the Australian dollar. Some days it'll be $1.97. Some days $2.07. So you gotta check on it every day. So I only went to Australia with about $6,000, and over there in Australia, I felt like a millionaire because I got to do everything and anything because I felt like a millionaire over there. I was treated like a celebrity and everything.
So I guess in a follow-up question to that was a great question, Celie. Like, were there any programs from your home university that you worked with, or just in general that helped with the exchange or with paying for part of it?
For who wanted to start like science in Brazil, they gave this scholarship.
There's scholarships for science.
Yeah.
My country doesn't care about us. They don't like Arabic that they pay for all the tuition fee and also pay the salaries. Chinese government just say, if you want to go abroad to study, just go it. Don't talk to me. I don't care about that.
Interesting.
To help me, my funding, I was told to write a letter to the President Royce Ingstrom of the University of Montana, and he awarded me $2,000 for a Presidential Excellence Award. I took out a $2,500 loan, and I did this GoFundMe account on Facebook that helped me fund my trip over there. And that's all I needed, and it was awesome.
Very cool. Let's see. Let's go to Darby. Darby, do you have any questions for our panelists?
Yes, we do. First is going to be Peyton Muir. You can just talk from there. It should pick it up.
Okay. Was it hard to ever understand everybody when you first arrived wherever you did, Australia or the United States?
Well, in Australia, it wasn't hard to understand anybody because Australia is an English-speaking country, but they were using different words like cheers, good day, cheeky, keen, and those right there I didn't really understand because we don't use those back here in America. So, but overall, I really had a good time over there.
Was pretty much messed it up when I landed in here. I didn't understand really pretty much nothing about English and I have to try to understand. And I remember I was in a Six Flags And someone asked me about the passport, and I thought it was my passport, my real passport with visa. I was like, why do you need this information? I didn't bring my passport. And he said, no, I just need your passport for your entrance. And I was like, oh, okay, I know, okay. And I got really nervous. I was like, oh no, he asked me for my passport and I don't have it. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty challenging.
Yeah, for me, English words, the most problem is the same meaning but different utilizing method. For example, my American friend told me a story that when we went to the gym to do exercising, and he told me that one guy last time is also a foreign people. He asked this American person that I want to exercise my breast, but actually he said the breast and the chest, the different the meaning for this way. So I at that time I curious that even though they are the same meaning for the same position, but there's not mean the suitable in some specific situations.
That's a good question. Did you have another question, Darby?
Yes, we do. Aaron Hansen has a question.
Yeah. Do you recommend studying abroad to younger students?
Yes, I recommend it to younger students to study abroad. It'll open up your horizon. It'll help to eliminate the stereotypical American lifestyle out there, because Americans are very ignorant people. I'll be honest, I'm an American and I was ignorant about going to Australia. Ignorant is just another word for not knowing. I didn't know anything about Australia. So I insist that when you're younger, you go out there and you experience all the world you can, because it'll help you, benefit you in the long run. It'll make you richer that way. That's what I say.
Wonderful.
I highly recommend young students to try to explore abroad first, because it's going to be a new experience. You're going to open up your mind about many different things. It's going to be challenging, so you're all going to grow personally. And besides that, you're probably going to have better opportunities, jobs and position when you're done with the program. So I highly recommend.
Yeah, I also do recommend it that, I mean, not about the studying language or studying knowledges. I mean, it's for yourself studying. For example, before I came in America, I never do laundry, I never cooking. Everything just relies on my mom, because in China we think that women can do everything. And after I came here, and I do everything by myself, even the run of the house, pay the utility fees, or use the Wi-Fi to contact with the customer service when I buy something that I'm not really happy with. Something like that, I think it's good for me to live in this world. It's not about the studying. So go abroad is great.
Great Falls, how about you? Do you have any questions for our students?
Okay, what's the process like of going through studying abroad?
What's that process like?
It's a long process.
What are some of the steps?
Seriously. So for us, as a foreigner, we need to have the I-20, which is the first paper that we need in order to be a student in the United States, for instance. And for that, you need to prove that you have a financial statement, okay. You have a visa process, which means you have an interview. You have to make sure about your own goals and explain to the government why you want to go to this place. And besides that, if you're planning to go to the university, you need to be approved in the university. So for the law program, for instance, I have TOEFL, which is an English test, but I also have LSAT, which is a test just for the students who want to pursue the law program. So it's a long process. We have to start planning in ahead and making sure that we can achieve that. But it's not simple and like, okay, I'm going tomorrow to Australia. Oh wait, I have to check visa, I have to check which school I'm going to be studying, which kind of requirements they want me to have. So it's all about planning and researching and make sure you make a good decision for yourself.
Shuai, did you have a similar experience in coming to the United States with all the things that you had to
Oh yeah, exactly. Almost the same. Just I-20 password and go to the embassy in China and to to answer some questions by the American embassy agencies person, something like that.
Good. And then how about the opposite way, going to another country?
Yeah.
Was it as challenging, or was
Going
it
to
easier?
another country, there's two steps here that I'm going to talk about. The first step is going to a country where that automatically already speaks English language. All you got to do is you got to find out the guidelines for that country. You got to apply for a student visa. You got to get a student visa. Then you got to get a student passport. Then you gotta take see if they apply to the university to see if they'll accept you at their university. Then once accepted, you get to go to that country and experience life there. If they're speaking a foreign language, like say Chinese or Spanish or whatever, see, when you could go anywhere in the world because you're an American citizen. You could go anywhere in the world and study. When you want to go to other places in the world that don't speak English, you're gonna have to take a fluency test to see if you're fluent enough in that language to go to that country and experience life over there. But thank you for that question, because that was a great question.
Great Falls, any other questions?
No, not right.
All right, Bozeman, let's go to you. We haven't heard from you yet.
Okay, go ahead, Jason.
So you guys were just talking about the process. Was that process like, did it ever make you guys doubt going abroad? Did you guys not want to go anymore?
Well, with me, it was a very tedious process. But because I had that question, I had to go get it answered about the toilets if they went the opposite way. So that's what drove me to go to Australia and drove me through all the steps of applying. That's the one question I had, and I got it answered. I had a great time over there. So.
Manuela, how about you?
I think when you have a goal, you just have a goal. So it doesn't matter how long it's going to take. It doesn't matter how many steps you have to take towards your own goal. And I would not quit my goal or just like give myself a double thought about it. Should I go or should I not go? Just because I have to go through the whole process. It's necessary, it's mandatory, and in the end of the day, it's just like really worth it.
Yeah, for me, I think that's fine. Yeah, just like she said that if you decide to go that, just do everything you want to go. But one thing is different. If you want to go abroad to study in China, I don't know, but I heard a lot of foreigners. I mean, for me, that they are foreigners. When they go to the embassy of China, they will be very angry with that, because sometimes they will be rejected without any reason, just because the embassy that today I'm not happy, so I reject that. So sometimes that later some foreigners say, okay, I give up.
Good question, Bozeman. Do you have another question?
What was the most significant thing you learned about the world in your travels?
Most significant thing that I learned about my world travels is that you got to be open-minded and flexible. That you can't be stuck and be stern to your ways. You got to be able to roll with the punches. You got to be able to roll and know that it's not going to go your ways always. It's not always going to go your way. It's beneficial if you're just like, oh, okay, you just agree on stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it. You're just agreeing with what they say. And that right there is what will take, what it takes to go around the world is just agreeing with what is happening. And when you go abroad, you want to go to every opportunity you can. I went to Darwin, to the Currumbin National Forest, at Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. They took us there, and for week 6, a study break over there. And I remember walking through that zoo, that wild refuge. I remember looking, and I seen it said Australian alligator. And I was looking, wow, that's really big. That's really big. It's about the size of a school bus. That's big. Then I kept walking. Seeing a couple kangaroo, couple koalas, carpet python, which is about as long as this screen here, or about as long as this room almost. Just wide, that carpet python. Just wide. And then I kept walking. Then I seen this, the tail of this thing sticking out of the water. What is that? Read the sign. Saltwater crocodile. Holy crap, those things are huge. Those are big. Those are bigger than semis almost. So. Yeah.
How about you, Manuela?
I think just like him, being open-minded and mainly deal with the difference and be respectful about it. Because we see many different things and many different culture, many different people, and you just have to learn and to be more respectful about the difference and to deal with that every day. So I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, I think this is really, really good questions. For me, I think so. Just put your bias down. That means I can give you an example. For example, the relationship between the citizens, between the China and Japan. After the World War II, we are really, really want to fight with each other again and again and again. So when I was staying in China, I also think that Japanese, they are not really good. But when I came here, I really made a lot of Japanese friendship. And they are not like that person that I imagined when I stay in China. They are really, really show their respect with me, and they're polite. And also my neighbors, who is also a Chinese guy, he's living with a Japanese roommate. Oh, I thought that's wonderful. And I also we eat together and we hang out together. They're not that bad. And yeah, I mean, just don't make any relationship with your bias. Even some people in your mind that they are not good.
Wonderful. Bozeman, do you have any other questions?
You said that when you went to Australia, it made you rich, and I was wondering what kind of things you were talking about that made you rich.
What kind of things that made me rich was that I was over there in I only went over there with $6,000. That's all I raised to go over there with. The economy of the Australian was only like, it would be $2 Australian compared to $1 American. So I was feeling like a millionaire over there in that sense, in that way, because I went over there with a lot less money, but it was worth a lot more over there in Australia. And the experiences that you gain when you go study abroad, you're going to have a good time. Those are going to influence your life and turn you into a better individual. Because I am a better individual now than I was before I left. When I left, I didn't do dishes. I didn't cook. I knew how to cook. I knew how to do dishes, but I just chose not to. I just bought new dishes. So
I'm wondering if you would tell us about somebody that you have met in your travels that has really either helped, been a great influence, a wonderful friend, or just some of those relationships that you made. Give you a second to think about it.
Oh yeah, actually, there's a person I never forgot him, and he's Arabian, and we lived together for 7 days during the 2014 Christmas Day. We didn't do everywhere because at that time both of us were preparing to join the TOEFL exam, so we spent together to study together, and yeah, every day. You know, the Arabian people, they have to pray 5 times a day. That's unbelievable that, and they don't eat pork, and so we cook together, and we both eat beef, mutton. I mean the lamb, and yeah, that's a great relationship. We do access, and we exchange our mind about the people's the mind. I mean the Arabian mind and the Chinese culture, something like that. And we also complain with each other's accent. I mean, I can't understand Arabians English. I don't know what they said, and he said that I also don't know what Chinese people thinking, and that's what they are talking about, and they have strong accent. So that is a really great time, and we also keep contacting during the Facebook.
Wonderful. Manuela?
I don't know. I have a friend in my class. He's from China. His name is Martin, and I always like Chinese people normally are always with another Chinese person.
Yeah.
And then I had like kind of a like, oh, why they just don't split it up and talk with everybody and everything. So Martin just started being really close to me, and I got to understand that they are really competitive in a really healthy way. So he kind of helped me out and motivate me to be a better student, because every time he's great, he's like, okay, what's your grade? Let me know. What happened? You're better than me, or who is better? It's like, hey, wait, it is not a competition, but I just end up liking, and I'm going to be missing him in the next semester. He's just way too funny, and he kind of motivated me to be a better student in university.
That's fun. Do you find that that's, just out of curiosity, do you find that that is true?
The people stay together. I mean, Chinese people.
Yeah, and that there's a little bit more competitiveness that in your studies.
Yeah, but yeah, actually, when I hung out, I always choose Chinese persons. I mean, I don't know why. But during the study, I will avoid to contact with Chinese persons. I mean, yeah, because I'm the only foreign student in my major, and also in graduate program of the public administration. So that is great for me to avoid speaking too much Chinese with Chinese people. And but hang out, maybe we can eat together. That means we can do the Chinese food. You know, eating pizzas, burgers every day. I can't.
Absolutely. How about you? Is there somebody in Australia that you really connected with, or that you'll never forget?
Yeah. Probably the lady who got me over there to Australia. Her name was Sylvie Millard. She introduced me to everybody over there. Sylvie Millard was the student that was here in the spring semester of 2014 at the University of Montana. Sylvie Millard introduced me to everybody over there, or not everybody, just a few people in Australia. Then those few people introduced me to some other people. Those people introduced me to more people. Next thing I know, I'm being shipped across the country in first class situation. I was shipped over to Fraser Island, which is an island made of nothing but sand. It's a rainforest that grows on sand. White sand. We went to Straddie Island, which is another island outside of Australia. Went there, and there I was a celebrity there as well. So I would have to say it was probably Sylvie Millard who got me over there, and she is a solicitor, which is a lawyer over there in Australia, but they're called solicitors in Australia. So
What was the most challenging, or what is the most challenging thing about studying abroad?
the most challenging thing about studying abroad for me was probably just getting adjusted and getting to know other cultures and taking the time to know other cultures. There was this one time, I have this story here. We went up to Darwin, from Lismore up to Darwin. We were up there and we were going to this crocodile park. Went to that park. They were gonna go down to Aboriginal community, which is in Catherine. So we went down to Catherine, drove about 80 kilometers south to Catherine, looking for my wallet. Here I lost my wallet. I lost my wallet in Darwin, Australia. I had about $200 in there, which is really devastating. But I wasn't gonna let that ruin my experience of being in Australia. I told myself, you know everything in your wallet is replaceable, right? Yeah. So why are you gonna let it get it? Why are you gonna let it down you? Just get everything replaced. That $200, so what? It's money, it'll grow again. So I just had fun there. I just had a great time there. Pretty much, I just didn't let anything get to me.
That's great. Manuela, how about you? What's the biggest challenge studying in a foreign country?
I guess language for me, and culture too. I was trying to say so many things in the beginning. I really would like people to understand what I was trying to say, and they just like they look and they don't have no idea what I'm trying to say. And I was like, and I started being frustrated. And I was like, oh, I have to improve it. I have TOEFL. I'm gonna be living in here. So I guess language was the first one, and culture, because here is completely different from Brazil, and I have to deal with these little differences. But no big deal. It's doable.
Yeah.
I mean the food. Yeah, that's probably the big challenge for me. Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, actually, I mean maybe the security, because in China we never use gun, and but in America, they have the gun policy. So the only thing that my parents always make a video that ask that, did somebody get shot? I mean no, don't worry about that, because recently, last month, that a Chinese person, a couple, they were shot in Arizona by an American woman. So this is very short for China. So everybody care about the gunshot in the America, and I mean here even we hung out together with Chinese people, and we rarely go outside at night in the middle night. But in China, that is just the start for the light fine. So this is quite different. Maybe that is small town, but Beijing is a big city, as big as New York City. So yeah, but totally, I think I really enjoy American life. I mean the people, whatever the Minnesota people or the Delaware that I used to study in, the people are really friendly. When we don't know each other, we come from together, and when we two pair of us watch each other, we will smile and say hello or how you guys. Oh, I can't imagine how it happened in China. And I also learned that when you say goodbye, just leave the have a nice day, have a wonderful day, or when you cross the door, just leave a door with the following people. Yeah, all of these things I think is really wonderful and friendly.
Wonderful. I think we have time for one more question from each of our schools. So, let's go ahead. We're gonna start with Bozeman this time because you guys were last. Do you have a last question for our student panel?
What's the funnest thing you remember doing while studying abroad?
The funnest thing.
Yeah, I have one. During this winter, I went to the Los Angeles, went to the Universal Studio. Oh, that's pretty fun. I really want to do it again. There's so many things.
I know.
So I'm a big fan of Foo Fighters, and I had the chance to see Foo Fighters playing at the Gorge, and I think it was the funniest thing I ever did with some friends that I made in here. So I guess that was an experience that I'm gonna be always thinking about. It. Oh, I saw them. That's cool, and I like the band a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Funnest thing that I've experienced was probably going to the Sydney Opera House. I saw a live poetry slam in the Sydney Opera House. The Sydney Opera House has 3 flights of steps leading up to the front doors, and it's got 4 theaters in there. And I got to see a performance in the main theater there at the Sydney Opera House. Funny story about that, but I got lost in Sydney, Australia. I called up my friends. They said, well, just as long as you're back by 3. Okay. So I called taxis and caught buses all over Sydney because I forgot where they lived. Here I finally found out. Alright, so I got off at this harbor, and I started walking around there, and I asked somebody, do you know where the Sydney Opera House is? They looked at me and they looked at me like I was an idiot. And they looked at me and they said, yeah, it's just right there. And I seen it, and I've never been that close to it, so I didn't recognize it, but I was right there.
That's great. Great Falls, do you have one last question for our student panel?
What was the most exotic food you ate?
What? The most exotic, wildest food that you've...
Most exotic food that I ate was probably crocodile.
Huh?
Crocodile was very good. But there was also kangaroo. Kangaroo is a mixture of deer and antelope. It's really gamey tasting.
You can eat kangaroo?
Yeah. I ate kangaroo.
I want to taste it.
Any wild?
I don't remember like eating anything like exotic like he did. I don't think.
Any wild game? Out of curiosity. Have you tried any?
No, I heard about the elk, but I'm not curious about that. I heard that people sometimes eat elk, but I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna try.
Yeah, for me it's probably the taco and the burrito. Yeah, and I also went to the Cancun, Mexico this winter, and I taste a lot of the tacos. Oh, that's wonderful.
Those are great. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Sealy Lake, let's go to you.
I guess I looked around. Nobody has any questions at this point in the classroom.
Okay, that's great. Thanks. Darby, how about you?
Yes, we got one last one.
Were you guys homesick when through like
during your time abroad? Were you homesick?
While you were visiting, did you ever get homesick?
Yeah. Right now I'm pretty homesick. I mean, after finish all the final papers and finish all the courses, when I was busy, I never think really miss my country and my parents because I'm strived to do some worst things. And but right now I really homesick because I don't have enough money and I don't have too many things I have to do. Just hang out in at home. I pretty miss my country. That is cheap money, cheap goods, and go everywhere. Yeah, so that's a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I think it's getting worse when time goes by. So now we are pretty much in May. We are in May, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going back to Brazil in June. So I'm looking for that and just like spend some time with my friends and family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't get homesick at all. My family, my friends, I took out loans to get away from this place. And I'm homesick for Australia. I'm not homesick for America. So I didn't get homesick at all. My family raised money and donated for my cause to send me away. So my family helped send me away. I wasn't homesick.
Oh my goodness. Well, this has been a wonderful hour. Thank you all so much for sharing your experiences with us. And thank you to our schools that have participated.
Thank you.
And thank you to the Montana World Affairs Council.